Aloha, hallowed be thy name, humanity, my friends and family. This is Trey, and this is my YouTube and Odyssey channel, Trey's Myths and Tunes, and my daily ritual service to you out of the pure joy, Trey's timeless 15 minutes of explain. And today, the talk is called True Morality is a Joy, a Discipline of Freedom, and the fun in the reclamation of the Christ. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life. Even when the sky and the people are starting to get pretty ugly. Whoa, Christ Goddess loves her children. The Christ Goddess loves her children. True morality is joy, a discipline of freedom. The fun in the reclamation of the Christ must happen within, just as the whole entire process of reclaiming your sovereignty, your self respect, your self love, and your discipline. None of these things are going to come from college. None of these things are going to come from some church or some dogmatic structure or some institution. The institution, most often, obviously, is going to block your ascension intentionally since it was hijacked. You just have to eventually forgive those individuals and collectives that did that and let go and move on into the self respect and discernment of the true Christ consciousness, which is your birthright as a human if you have the discipline to take it. So, since we all grew up in Catholic, Protestant, or Presbyterian, or some denomination of the mainstream Bible thumper, the hijacked, the churchian, the obedient rule cult followers. We grew up feeling that morality was something that came from and through guilt, fear, the fear of retribution, the fear of punishment. And again, this was something that was gradually inserted in, unless the Anunnaki, put it in the beginnings of the Hebrew. In some cases, gradually it crept in, and so uh, again, it's exoteric politic. The idea that God is going to punish you for disobeying what the church said or the government, is fake. Fear-based morality is fake. Eternal damnation is a man-made, or perhaps a reptilian or artificial construct, rather, a massive mind control plot. Obviously, to subjugate your soul to the demiurge's death trap, recycling station on the moon. In real morality, the rules are natural law, karmic law. What Mark Passio talks about is he's actually accurate on that. And so I was just thinking for this video about when I was making my notes about how the Quakers, they don't really socialize. They stay in prayer. They stay with their wife and children and in their house. And all their equipment runs on steel. It's all from the 1800s, and all their equipment runs on horses or mules. And anyway, so but this I read this book where this man lived after he graduated college. He lived with the Quakers for a year, and he said the way they would socialize was at work. And I have this astrological kind of tendency where the only way I meet people is through work. So you might be the only people I'll meet unless I meet people that want to rock out with me or hear me rock out or heal in person here. So this is one of the reasons I started this platform, to get more serious about that. So they'll socialize while they're doing hard physical work. They'll get to know each other, and you know, because they find it naturally joyous to tend their gardens and their animals and do their chores with each other communally. They find it a joyous. They're such moral people. They're one of the few. The Hopis, perhaps. There's a few out there that upheld their morality, and the Quakers, obviously. But I find that an interesting point, that they have fun getting to know each other and joking around and playing while they work. They work very hard, but they play while they work and have fun and get friendly with it. While doing hard physical work, they socialize. The patriarchal religions, the government, the New Age cult, the dark side are fully immoral, because they teach you to put it out. They teach you to put it outside of yourself. Exopolitics. God is in the sky. Sovereignty is morality, however. Even if you don't have sovereignty in some ways, the more you can have them, the more chakras that you can free. Sovereignty is morality. The true Christ is truly within all. It's not external rules based in hierarchy, intimidation, threats, coercion. That's all fake. That's all the Luciferic or the Belial sons. The Catholic morality is just like the 2020 narrative. Do as we say or walk the plank. Stay in hell forever. It's an inverted morality to terrify you out of this eternal damnation. That again, and I also based this partially in research from having read about 5 books about near-death experiences in the last 5 years, all of them previous to my own, stating that it was so blissful that they didn't want to come back, and it wasn't hellish at all on the other side. So they give you this inverted morality to try to give you this reverse motivation. I don't know how well that works unless you already have a lot of Draco in your blood, or you suffer like I have from masochism. So freedom is a huge responsibility and a discipline that you have to grow it up. It's not just it doesn't just work by itself. As David James Rodriguez said, every day that you're heroic, or every day you exercise your freedoms, you have to keep your faith going. You have to do it in the face of your fear. To be a good slave in the capitalist system, you have to think money is God. Who has a lot of money makes the rules, right? That's the fake morality again. As Mark Passio said, kingship is slavery. Your moral compass is turned off when you obey these outside authorities. Really, you don't really have your moral compass turned on. I've suffered from through terrible coercion and physical and mental illness over years. and poverty to this terrible, tragic concept. But dependency is actually one of the 5 archontic deception strategies that Lisa Renee cites. And that's why many people won't accept me as a teacher. They consider me immoral because the money mongers say that if you don't, or the money changers that control the reality through the Saturn Tech Cube say that if you don't earn a bunch of, for example, in this region, if you don't earn a lot of money, you're immoral. Especially if you're dependent. Whoever, that's how the money mongers control most people's thoughts through this idea that they can. Rich people can do whatever you want. Oh, this again, it's reverse morality, Illuminati, Luciferian reverse morality. The richer you are, the more it's moral relativity is another word for it. It's a sick concept they spread around. Well, you can do whatever you want because you're rich. So you got to give up this idea. No one can. I mean, karma is the real core of Saturn underneath this insane hexagram, and that means you can't get away with anything, as Jordan Peterson said. Nobody gets away with anything, with nothing. Helping others with no strings attached. If you want to help yourself reclaim the experience of the true morality, the joy of freedom, when you can help others with no strings attached, if you have narcissistic predator entities or tendencies, it's a good way to get rid of it too. Sharing wisdom appropriately in a way that helps others free their mind, which is my goal in this channel, is to bring forth that awareness. So Mark Passio says, with an increase in morality, there's an increase in freedom. With a decrease in morality, there's an increase in slavery, and that's amongst what he calls the aggregate or the more majority. This is very important to remember. And this is why California sucks, because the government are openly gangsters who openly, like Newsom keeping his restaurant open throughout the lockdown while he forced everyone else to shut theirs. They're openly criminal, here, so it sucks in that way. And so, whereas if the state of Florida, having a governor who respects freedom and morality, has increased other people's, and like MDs and freedom activists moving to that state, and influencers who respect morality and freedom moving there. For example, the opposite extreme example. We are one energetically with the planet, like it or not, and all humanity. And it really sucks when all our brothers and sisters took this mad scientist experiment internationally. We must work toward bringing morality toward the all. This is one of the key reasons why I do this. The great work that Mark Passio calls it the non-aggression principle is one of the biggest keys in morality. That you never hurt. You do the opposite of the 1%. You never hurt another person's body or stuff, and ideally your own, if you want to be really respectful. My friend, my mother's sister's husband, David, said, Trey, the best thing I do for myself is helping others. He's a sun sign Gemini in a Gemini state, South Carolina, and he had that hero complex. He loved to help others, but he openly, I thought was curious, Moon in Aquarius, he openly told me that, that was his best thing he did for himself. I'm like, well, that's pretty honest. Harmlessly helping others with no narcissistic predator entities will bring remembrance of moral freedom. In other words, if you help others who have these parasites in their ego, you ain't going to really cut it. But if you can somehow help people who don't have that, you're going to remember moral freedom. If they don't try to manipulate you. An example of this, about a year or two, maybe 2 years ago, this man was walking across the road, and I just told him, you're wearing a mask because a Nazi officer's son orchestrated to lock down the world and made you think it was a virus going to get you. And you know what? He took off the mask, and he had a big, beautiful Jewish nose. and I was happy, really happy for that him to have his oxygen back. If you like this, click the I resubscribe and create a great one. I'm going to talk a little more here.